Hello! In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a drawing using ink. So I've got the ink here. This is the same ink that you had in the pack from me. I also got a brush. I've diluted the inks as well. So I've got a lighter version of the ink and a fully loaded version of the ink here. For this exercise, you also need some tissues. And they will help you to clean your brush. Okay, pick up an object, put it in front of you. I'm going to draw one of the elements from my still life that is in front of me, and I'm going to straight away dive in with ink. Because I'm not sure about my general shape here, instead of doing the first lines in the very, very dark line, I'm going to pick up the watered down version, and I'm going to use that ink to help me create the constructions lines of my object. Now I'm happy with the general proportions. I can start drawing properly. So I can use my ink and input more details of the object that's in front of me. I'm trying to do it pretty quickly, having a very gesture-like approach, especially when you're drawing organic objects. Sometimes the impression of the object, it's much more important than a full accuracy. Every time you see me stopping around, it's because I'm concentrating on looking at the object in front of me. Looking at the object is more important than looking at your brush marks, pencil marks. Be brave. Allow yourself to observe things. Don't concentrate on looking at a piece of paper. Look at what's in front of you. You should spend at least 50% of your time looking at your object, not at your paper. Working with brush allows me to vary the thickness on my lines, so I can have thicker, more aggressive lines. Whoopsie. That happens. What I can try to do, I can try to lift some of the color, but sometimes the color is impossible to lift, like with this ink. So we just need to keep it in here. Maybe use it as a happy accident, and maybe just add a few more of those kind of marks to make it look less out of place. Yeah, I kind of like it now. With my pot is very, very light. So to add a bit of shading onto it, I'm going to use a bit of a watered down ink. I'm trying to keep in the brush marks and show clearly where I'm working. Because my pot is very light, it doesn't feel light at the moment because the background is light. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to establish a background. On the foreground, I'm going to make it look darker than the pot and use horizontal lines when working. On the background behind the pot, I'm going to use much darker ink. I'm going to use vertical movement of my brush. I think around the pot I can make it even darker. I think that would look nice. When you get to the stage of dealing with big surfaces, when you're finished with your main, that's when you can look on your paper a bit more. Because that's when you're making decisions, creative decisions. What should be darker and what should be lighter? I'm trying to keep my brush marks different between my main objects, where the lines are full, rich of ink, and the background, where I'm trying to create more texture by putting less ink on my brush. I think I would like to increase the contrast of my plant, so I'm going to add even darker areas on it, refining it. I think the shadow needs to be a bit more prominent from the pot. I think I'm happy with it, almost finished. So as you can see, I've worked very, very quickly with this piece in order to preserve an energy of working with ink. When you practice your ink drawing, you've got a choice of plain or painted paper with some background color. Here, I'm walking you through a speed-up process of painting the same object on a different type of background. The ink might behave differently if you use acrylic or watercolor or coffee to create your background. Notice I haven't used pencil in any of those drawings. I know there are going to be some mistakes in the drawings and I'm just going to have to live with it. This exercise forces you to be brave and to enjoy your happy mistakes. Thank you and see you in the next video.